Jadi manusia yang sukses hendaklah mulai dari diri kita sendiri dan menjadi manusia jitu, yaitu disiplin, jujur, iman kuat, inovatif, kreatif, tekun, dan ulet. Semoga Anda semuanya akan menjadi sukses. Saya Marta Tilaar untuk IDX Channel.
The United Arab Emirates will invest $10 billion in Indonesia. The new VAT rate to take effect in April 2022. Hello, good evening. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of information from business, economic, and capital market sectors. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information. Please stay safe by taking some simple precautions, such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands, and having less mobility. With me, Wicky Adrian, this is Market Headlines. Ministry of Investment revealed that the United Arab Emirates will invest in Indonesia amounting to $10 billion or equivalent to 142.2 trillion rupiah. This was conveyed by the expert staff for increasing investment competitiveness at the Ministry of Investment, Heldi Satria Putra, who revealed that the UAE had committed to invest $10 billion. Later, this fresh fund will be managed by the Sovereign Wealth Fund Indonesia Investment Authority. The UAE government will invest these funds in several sectors, one of which is infrastructure. In addition, UAE government is also eyeing tourism projects. One of them is the Aceh Tourism.
Dari Uni Emirat Arab ini memang belum masuk 10 besar. Tetapi saat ini sudah ada beberapa proyek yang cukup besar dan sesuai sebetulnya sektornya dengan apa yang ingin kita upayakan investasinya masuk ke sektor-sektor tersebut, itu sudah ada dari Dubai. Kita juga berharap bahwa ke depannya itu akan banyak lagi rencana-rencana investasi yang akan masuk dari Uni Emirat ini ke Indonesia. Antara lain ada di sektor pariwisata juga. Ada di sektor infrastruktur yang lainnya seperti jalan tol.
The Indonesian Coal Mining Association assessed that the high price of coal, which reached $260 per metric ton, will be used by some coal companies to improve the company's financial position.
The high price of coal, which touched $260 per metric ton, was a blessing for mining companies. The Indonesian Coal Mining Association even noted that there are several companies that have increased their production capacity and have begun to revise their business in the future following the fluctuating coal prices. Executive Director of the Indonesian Coal Mining Association, Hendra Sinadia, explained that coal companies should be able to take advantage of the blessing of the price increase to improve financial cash.
Memanfaatkan berkah dari kenaikan harga yang tentu saja ini volatile ya, tidak akan panjang ya. Ini akan positif bagi perusahaan untuk memperbaiki kas keuangan untuk mempersiapkan era transisi energi yang sedang di depan mata.
Hendra added that the coal production target set by the government of 625 million tons would not be achieved. The factors behind it are the problem of weather changes and the availability of heavy equipment. As for exports, Hendra says the figure will not be as big as the achievement in 2019, which reached around 455 million tons. From Jakarta, Gilang Praditya for IDX Channel.
Deputy Minister of SOE Pahala Mansuri said that the Pertamina Mandalika International Street Circuit in Lombok, West Nusa Tenggara will start operating in November 2021. He said that the Mandalika circuit will be used for the first time from 19 to 21 November 2021 for the World Superbike Championship event. The international motorcycle racing event was originally scheduled for November 12 to 14, but was later postponed by a week. Pahala added that the circuit will also be used for the 2022 MotoGP pre-season test, which is scheduled for 11 to 13 February 2022, followed by the MotoGP Indonesia 2022 race in March 2022. Pahala hopes that this prestigious international event will revive the Indonesian tourism industry, which has been hardly hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, especially in Lombok and its surroundings. At the same time, President Director of Indonesia Tourism Development Collaboration, Abdul Bar Mansur, stated that currently the main track of the circuit has been completed. Meanwhile, the construction of which has not been completed is supporting facilities such as control buildings, tracking systems, and vehicle parking facilities. Moving on to global update, Nigeria's government to ramp up spending to boost GDP by 4.2% in 2022, while in shareholders meeting, Elon Musk has announced that Tesla will move its headquarters from California to Texas. More stories on today's International Minute.
Democrats and Republicans in the United States Senate have agreed to a short-term increase in U.S. borrowing authority, averting a potential financial crisis. The announcement by a top legislator on Thursday came after lawmakers had been at odds on Capitol Hill for several days, as Democrats pushed to raise the debt limit in the face of staunch opposition by Republicans, who refused to go along with the proposal because they opposed President Joe Biden's spending plans. Nigeria's government finalized plans to ramp up spending and borrowing as it grapples with reviving an economy that shrank by the most in a quarter century last year due to the coronavirus pandemic. Expenditure is projected at 16.4 trillion naira, or $39.7 billion next year, or 17.7% more than initially proposed. The increased spending will help drive economic growth with a 4.2% expansion in gross domestic product seen in 2022. Russia has the potential to boost natural gas supplies to Europe, where surging gas prices have ramped up pressure on consumers, the Kremlin said Thursday. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said existing gas transit routes allow for bolstering supplies before the new Nord Stream 2 pipeline that is intended to bring Russian gas to Germany begins operating. Europe's soaring gas prices dropped Thursday, a day after Russian President Vladimir Putin suggested his country could sell more gas to European spot buyers. Tesla has announced it will move its company headquarters to Texas from California. Chief Executive Elon Musk announced the move at the electric car maker's annual shareholders meeting in Austin. Musk had fallen out with local politicians in Alameda County, California, the location of a key Tesla factory, over its COVID's response. He gave several reasons for the move, telling shareholders its Californian factory in Fremont was jammed. IDX Channel reports.
Market headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Gak terkenal, mahal. Ini yang berkelas dan berkualitas.
Open YouTube.
Playbox All-in-One TV Android Box.
Life is too short to always play safe.
Oke,
Gitu,
jadi
quote-ku.
terlalu singkat untuk bermain aman gitu ya.
Untuk selalu bermain aman.
Ya. Terkadang kita nggak melakukan.
Satgas COVID-19 tetap mengingatkan agar masyarakat tetap disiplin dalam menegakkan protokol kesehatan.
Pemerintah akan melakukan upaya terbaik untuk memvaksinasi sebanyak mungkin orang dan secepat mungkin.
Kementerian Perdagangan optimistis target pemerintah untuk membuat 30 juta UMKM go digital bisa tercapai di akhir tahun 2023. Wisata Bali dan Labuan Bajo hingga saat ini masih menjadi favorit.
Welcome back. The draft law on harmonization of tax regulations is officially ratified into law. The law regulates several matters related to taxation, including the cancellation of value-added tax for basic food.
The government has decided to cancel the application of the value-added tax for basic food in 2022. This is stated in the law on harmonization of tax regulations, which was recently passed. Deputy Chairman of Commission 11 of the House of Representatives, Dolphy OFP, said Article 16B of the law on the harmonization of tax regulations explained that basic food were not included in the list of goods subject to tax.
Nilai memuat pengaturan tentang komitmen keberpihakan pada masyarakat bawah tetap terjaga dengan pemberian fasilitas pembebasan PPN atas barang kebutuhan pokok, jasa pendidikan, jasa kesehatan, jasa keuangan, dan jasa pelayanan sosial. Hal ini sekali lagi merupakan bentuk keberpihakan DPR sebagai wakil rakyat terhadap kebutuhan dasar masyarakat banyak.
In addition to basic food, social services, financial services, educational services, public transportation services, and labor services are also free from tax levies. Previously, the government planned to impose VAT on some goods and services that were previously exempt from tax. One of them is basic food. IDX Channel reports.
Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani said the VAT rate to increase from 10 to 11% and will take effect in April 2022. This rate increase is stated in the law on harmonization of tax regulations. Regarding the new VAT rate increase that will take effect in April next year, Sri Mulyani explained because the Ministry of Finance still needs time to communicate and convey it to the public. At the same time, the Finance Minister even ensured that the VAT rate will rise gradually to 12% in 2025. This is called so increase state revenue. However, regarding this matter, the government has received many inputs that the application of multiple VAT rates has the potential to cause disputes.
Bersepakat bahwa kenaikan dilakukan secara bertahap karena ini kita ingin juga menjaga momentum pemulihan ekonomi sehingga tarifnya bertahap dari 10% saat ini di dalam Undang-Undang PPN akan naik menjadi 11% baru pada bulan April 2022 dan paling lambat 1 Januari 2025 akan naik lagi 1% ke 12%. Fasilitas PPN dikenakan pada seluruh barang kena pajak dan jasa kena pajak. Namun kita memberikan fasilitas pembebasan PPN. Ini terutama untuk barang kebutuhan pokok sesuai yang disampaikan oleh masyarakat luas. Barang kebutuhan pokok, jasa kesehatan, jasa pendidikan, jasa sosial, dan beberapa jenis jasa lain.
The VAT rate, the government also said it would start implementing a carbon tax levy. Finance Minister Sri Mulyani Indrawati have revealed that the carbon tax will begin to be imposed in April 1st, 2022 at a rate of 30 rupiah per kilogram.
Not only increasing the VAT rate, the government also said it would start implementing a carbon tax levy. Sri Mulyani revealed that the imposition of a carbon tax is the commitment of the Indonesian government to work together with other countries in the world to reduce climate change.
Namun pajak karbon ini akan dilakukan secara sangat hati-hati dan bertahap, sesuai dengan roadmap dengan mempertimbangkan perkembangannya pasar karbon di Indonesia, pencapaian target dari National Determined Contribution kita, dan kesiapan dari sektor yang tentu akan terkena accountability atau keterjangkauan. Tarif pajak yang kita lakukan sama dengan harga karbon di pasar karbon dengan minimal tarifnya 30 rupiah per kilonya, yaitu untuk CO2 equivalent.
For the initial stage, a carbon tax will be applied to the coal-fired power plant sector using a tax mechanism based on emission limits. The implementation of the carbon tax will be carried out in stages and aligned with carbon trading as part of the green economy roadmap. In addition, the government has a commitment to reduce GHG emissions by 29% with its own efforts, or 41% with international support by 2030, in accordance with the Agreed Climate Change Convention. IDX Channel reports.
Meanwhile, regarding the application of a residence number as a taxpayer ID, the Minister of Finance emphasized that not everyone who has a residence number will immediately be subject to tax. Sri Mulyani explained that this was to straighten out issues related to people who have not or have income. They must continue to pay taxes because the residence number serves as the taxpayer ID. It is known that the use of a residence number as taxpayer ID is included in the law on the harmonization of tax regulations. The government stated that the proposal of making it as the taxpayer ID is to increase efficiency in the tax administration system. The step is part of the transformation of the tax system.
Jika sebagai NPWP orang pribadi, ini tadi tidak berarti semua yang punya NIK langsung membayar pajak. Sudah saya jelaskan tadi di depan. Tapi ini di dalam rangka mengintegrasi basis data kependudukan dengan sistem administrasi perpajakan. NIK sebagai NPWP tidak menyebabkan orang kemudian yang punya KTP atau NIK langsung menjadi orang yang harus bayar pajak. Kalau pendapatan mereka di bawah penghasilan tidak kena pajak, tadi 54 juta per tahun, dia tidak membayar pajak. Dan pendapatannya juga selalu dikurangkan PTKP sebelum dia mulai punya kewajiban pembayaran pajak.
Stay with us because Market Headlines will be right back after the break.
Awali hari Anda dengan beragam informasi bisnis terkini yang kami kemas dalam berita teraktual dan berkualitas. Power Breakfast, informasi terkini seputar ekonomi, bisnis, pasar modal, dan industri kreatif yang dikemas secara ringan. New Screen menyajikan informasi ekonomi, bisnis, dan keuangan. Market Headline menayangkan berita ekonomi dan bisnis dalam bahasa Inggris. Saksikan program-program berita ekonomi dan bisnis terkini langsung dari sumbernya, live hanya di IDX Channel. Your Trustworthy Economic, Business, and Capital Market Channel.
Life is too short to always play safe.
Oke,
Gitu,
jadi
quote-ku.
terlalu singkat untuk bermain aman gitu ya.
Untuk selalu bermain aman.
Ya. Terkadang
Jadi
kita nggak melakukan.
Sebanyak 7 bank telah menyetujui restrukturisasi kredit PT Waskita Karya Persero Tbk dengan outstanding sebesar 21,9 triliun rupiah.
Pemirsa, Bursa Efek Indonesia mencatat saat ini terdapat 12 emiten yang berencana melakukan buyback saham.
Pertimbangan dengan 4 rekomendasi saham ini, Pak Rofandi, mungkin untuk Akra terlebih dahulu, Pak.
2 hari ini mungkin dia akan berkonsolidasi dan akan terjadi rebound.
We're in the last segment at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today. JSI was opened at the level of 6,464.44. Then approaching the closing time of the first session, the index was on the level of 6,469.63. Then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,481.77. In short, JCI went up 1.02%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. SWAT went up 34.78% to a level of 155 per share. ASA went up 15.09% to the level of 3,890 per share. DGIK went up 10.68% to the level of 114 per share. CSIS went up 8.7% to the level of 100 per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got MLPL went down 6.7% to the level of 418 rupiah per share. Wi-Fi went down 6.47% to the level of 650 rupiah per share. Yellow went down 6.45% to the level of 406 rupiah per share. Kaios went down 6.06% to the level of 775 rupiah per share. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Opened at the level of 14,244 rupiah, was also showing strengthening trend towards US dollar. Was closed at the level of 14,177. In summary, rupiah went up 0.47%. Bank Pembangunan Daerah Jawa Barat and Banten officially established the first regional securities company named BJB Sekuritas. The presence of BJB Sekuritas is expected to accommodate the high public interest in stock investment, which continues to grow from year to year.
Bank Pembangunan Daerah Jawa Barat and Banten officially established the first regional securities company in Indonesia named BJB Sekuritas. The company will become a subsidiary of Bank BJB, which oversees the management of the regional securities company. President Director of Bank BJB, Yudi Renaldi, said the establishment of BJB Sekuritas is expected to accommodate the high interest in investing in shares of the West Java community, which continues to grow from year to year.
Kami melihat antusiasme Bapak Gubernur, masyarakat Jawa Barat khususnya, dalam berinvestasi saham khususnya di wilayah Jawa Barat yang terus tumbuh dan dari tahun ke tahun, keberadaan BJB Sekuritas Jawa Barat sebagai perusahaan efek daerah pertama, saya harapkan dapat mengakomodir minat berinvestasi saham sekaligus memberikan edukasi yang dibutuhkan khususnya di wilayah Jawa Barat.
Meanwhile, the management of the Indonesia Stock Exchange welcomed the presence of BJB Sekuritas as the first regional securities company in Indonesia.
Saya mewakili Bursa Efek Indonesia mengucapkan selamat kepada PT Mandiri Sekuritas dan PT BJB Sekuritas Jawa Barat sebagai anggota bursa pertama yang menjadi AB sponsor bagi perusahaan efek daerah dan kepada BJB Sekuritas Jawa Barat sebagai PED pertama yang telah mendapatkan perizinan dari OJK.
As the first regional securities company in Indonesia, BJB Sekuritas is supported by Mandiri Sekuritas in the operational process and settlement of securities transactions on the stock exchange. IDX Channel reports.
In line with the government's decision to loosen the implementation of restrictions on community activities or PPKM, Pembangunan Jaya Ancol hopes that the easing of PPKM can increase the number of visits to Ancol. Acting Corporate Communication for Pembangunan Jaya Ancol, Aryadi Eko Nugroho, said that the management positively welcomed the relaxation of PPKM. He continued at the reopening for recreational activities. The number of visitors to Ancol rose 81% compared to when only the sports area was open. He said that with the loosening of PPKM, several recreation units in Ancol were gradually opened. He hopes that with the improving conditions, it can also have an impact on community visits to Ancol. Meanwhile, he ensures that the implementation of health protocols and evaluations will continue to be carried out to ensure that recreational activities can run safely. Step aside for market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still going on. Here it is, the data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic, Business and Capital Market Channel. And to prevent the spread of COVID-19, always wear a mask and get vaccinated immediately. Masks have been shown to reduce the risk of transmission by 80%, while vaccines minimize the risk of death by 73%. So let's wear a face mask and get vaccinated because masks and vaccines keep us healthy and happy. Wicky Adrian, have a nice evening and stay safe.
Apakah Anda memiliki perusahaan dan ingin mengembangkannya? Perlu dana lebih untuk ekspansi? Ingin kepercayaan lebih dari kreditur dan bank? Perlu peningkatan image perusahaan? Perlu strategic partners? Menghadapi potensi sengketa dalam keluarga pemilik? Butuh penerapan good corporate governance yang lebih baik? Go Public adalah solusinya. Mengapa Go Public? Dengan Go Public, Anda akan menikmati manfaat seperti akses pendanaan yang luas dari pasar modal, peningkatan image perusahaan, likuiditas dan valuasi saham yang menguntungkan bagi founder, peningkatan profesionalisme perusahaan, pertumbuhan dan kelangsungan usaha, peningkatan loyalitas karyawan, serta insentif pajak.
Saya Prisa Samodatu membawakan program berita News Screen yang menghadirkan informasi seputar ekonomi maupun juga bisnis dari dalam negeri.